To cast on stitches, we're going to use a long tail cast on method and a ribbing method, but we don't need to leave a really long tail, because instead of using the yarn that is connected to the ball and the tail, we're going to use both yarns, both colors. So we're going to leave just a little bit of a tail to sew in later, and we're going to start with a regular slip knot, but with using both colors, both yarns together. So hold both yarns together and make your slip knot and place it on the right hand needle. This slip knot does not count as a stitch. We're going to lose it later on. When we're casting on, we're going to cast on a knit stitch and a purl stitch, alternating between the two. And all the knit stitches are going to be with the same color, and all the purl stitches are going to be with the same color. So for the knit stitch, use the color that is the background color on the wrong side, because when we turn, our purl stitches will become the knit stitches. So we're holding both yarns together and inserting the finger and the thumb, spreading them apart and holding them in the slingshot position. And the color that is on our finger will be the knit stitches. The color that's on our thumb will be the purl stitches. The first stitch is a regular knit stitch. We're coming from underneath the loop that's on the thumb into the loop. We're going to come over to the finger strand and pull it through the loop on the thumb towards us, and we can tighten the stitch. So it's a regular knit stitch. Now we're going to do the purl stitch, which is actually the mirror of the same movement. We're going to go far away from us underneath the loop that's on our finger into the loop, from back to front, from underneath up. We're going to come all the way to the strand that's on the thumb and just go under and push it through the loop of the finger. And we're going to the right. We're going to take the needle to the right and upwards to finish the stitch and create a stitch. This is actually a purl stitch. You can tighten it a little bit, not too much, and remember to hold a finger to create the stitches a little bit farther away, not too tight, because then your cast on will be very, very tight. You want to have a little bit of space between the stitches that you're making. So we have one light knit stitch and one dark purl stitch. Again, we're going to go under the loop that's on our thumb, into the loop, pick up the light thread and pull it through the loop that's on our thumb. And just push the yarn and create the stitch, and create it far away from the previous one. And collect it backwards to be with the rest of the stitches. We're going to create a purl stitch. Go far away under the loop that's on the finger and into the loop. pick up the yarn that's on the thumb and push it away through the loop to the right to create the purl stitch. And again, create it far away from the previous stitch and collect it with your finger. And let's create a knit stitch under the loop that's on the thumb. Pick up the strand that's on the finger and pull it towards you through the loop that's on the thumb and push the yarn to create the knit stitch. And collect it and go under the loop that's on the finger, pick up the strand that's on the thumb and push it through the loop to the right and create the stitch. Let's do one more pair. We're going to create a knit stitch and pick up the strand through the loop that's on the thumb and a purl stitch underneath the loop that's on the finger. Pick up the strand and push it through to the right and create a purl stitch. Every pair we make is one stitch of the chart, one box of the chart, because we're always working a knit stitch and a purl stitch as one stitch. It's one stitch for the front layer and one stitch for the back layer. So keep casting on pairs of stitches for each box of the chart, or as the number that is required in the pattern. The numbers refer to pairs, not to stitches. So when I count them, I'm going to count that I casted on 1, 2, 3, 4 pairs, not 8 stitches. And I want to remind you that the first slip knot that contains both colors is not a stitch. We're going to turn the work. We're going to work the first row, and when we reach the end of the row, we can just take this slip knot off, or either before you begin working, you can slip all the stitches like I did to the other side of the needle. Take the slip knot off. It's just an anchor for casting on, and you can open it up, and we have only the pairs that we need to knit.